Let me ask you a question. Where was Comrade Mandla Mandela when the Eastern Cape was in floods? I'm asking the question, where did Mandla Mandela get the money to go to Gaza? Comrade, in the Mandla Mandela, he must go to the nearest hell.
Hello and welcome to the channel. Let's get into this. Now, Inkosi Mandla Mandela has been listed as one of the people who are getting deported by Israel after their attempt to be heroes, or were they being instigators? This move was met with a lot of conflicting views here in South Africa. Some accusing Mandela of neglecting local social ills, and some others hailing him for his bravery. On the most dangerous mission ever, they were sending aid to Gaza, standing in the gap for humanity. Now, Israel obviously did as expected, captured them. So Ramaphosa has released a statement. Is he putting South Africa on the line, or is he being brave? What are your thoughts on this? Take a look.
Quick question though. What does their politics have anything to do with us? Just asking. Why are we jumping on the bandwagon for culture wars that's going on in some other country? Ew.
No, fellow South Africans, let me address in the Xhosa, because the Xhosa people now, they think the issue of Mandla Mandela is a tribalism issue. Let me address you, Xhosa comrade from the Eastern Cape. Let me ask you a question. Where was Comrade Mandla Mandela when the Eastern Cape was in floods? I'm asking the question, where did Mandla Mandela get the money to go to Gaza? Where did he get the money to go to Gaza? Because the victims of the Eastern Cape floods are not fully recovered yet today. Why Mandla Mandela couldn't take the same money and help the people of the Eastern Cape who are affected by floods? I'm asking you, Banbasa Eastern Cape, Uti, even your own Premier Oscar Mabuyane, he was on leave when you were helping floods, because your Xhosas, you are so that your own leaders are rejecting you, but you're still protecting them. You know everything is about racism. So let us say, comrade, in the Mandla Mandela, he must go to the nearest hell. We are making it sure Mandla Mandela must go to hell. Ramaphosa must go to the Mandela Commission. He's got a lot to explain about Hangwane Maumela, 800 million tenders. He got a lot to explain about Brown Mkhotsi channeling the finances during the CR17 campaign. He's got a lot to explain. Nana Gufagana Timtetwa Ubulewe Unatim Tetwa. That Timtetwa has been killed. He never killed himself, because by trying to let cartel, he see that Timtetwa will not go down by alone. And they know who you comrade. Sitina in the Israel. Ramaphosa is wrong. Ramaphosa uzothatha no Israel. We got no problem with Israel. If we got a problem, we will send TA and Mukwege to negotiate with Israel. Mandla must go to hell. We don't need the war here. Because once we go to war, Ramaphosa will be the commander-in-chief. We will be unopposed. Uzotipla soldiers longer to we are the national security threat. We don't want that. We got no problem with Israel. Big leaders must go and negotiate. Ramaphosa is going down. He needs to step aside with immediate effect and go answer himself to the Mandela Commission. And we plead to South African law enforcement. After Ramaphosa step aside, no politician must preside over our country. We need the state, in the military stage. The military must take over. Then let's go forward. I'm also politically implicated. We don't have time for them.
Imagine if the world said this about apartheid. Imagine if they saw the land grabs, they saw people being displaced from their homes, they saw children being unalived in the streets of Soweto, and they said, well, that's none of my business. It's just some African country. Don't you think the people who stood against apartheid across the world had their own personal problems, had their own problems in their country, and yet they never used their problems to try and make the fight against apartheid look insignificant? And somehow they understood that the very same companies that were still invested in apartheid South Africa were the same companies that were still committing atrocities in their own countries. Like I said, every struggle is connected.
So I see the bench warmers have come out to start insulting or questioning Mandla Mandela's intentions in going on the global summit flotilla to Palestine, as if a grown man whose literal grandfather was a Nelson Mandela is incapable of caring about more than one thing at the same time. So because you haven't seen him go on some Sumut flotilla or whatever, some protest in the Eastern Cape, that seems to be the example that people use a lot because his family's from there. Because you haven't personally seen him do something there, he shouldn't be fighting for Palestine? So because Palestine is thousands and thousands of kilometers away from us, we shouldn't care? Because Congo is countries away, we shouldn't care? Do you understand that the global impact of these apartheid states and these oppressors does affect us? This is about money at the end of the day. You, with your 20 rand 1 liter Coke from the spaza shop, but then you want to go and start questioning Mandla Mandela, who literally got on a global summit flotilla to fight for people's rights. Because guess what? We're gonna be next if they win in Palestine. We're next. If they can see, oh, okay, we can bomb children, we can destroy cities, we can take land with zero consequence. There's no real consequence. Netanyahu's there sitting at the UN, busy giving speeches at the UN. There's no consequences for bombing children, apparently. So clearly, because there's no consequences, where do you think they're going to end up next? Cape Town! Because they're moving in. They're moving in. You think they won't take Western Cape from us? You think they won't take it from us? Guys, please, man, please stop with this chat of, oh, why do we care about Palestine? Why do we care about Congo? We should care about things of South Africa. I promise you, our brains are big enough to care about all of those things at the same time.
Well, there you have it, guys. Those are some of the views coming in there. You'd have seen also on social media. People are not happy with Umandla's approach and him volunteering himself like that and putting South Africa's name to it and then going to the very same Israel. Well, it's good for adding pressure and raising awareness to the issue that is happening there and the people of Gaza. However, people are calling him out, saying that they have not seen the same energy for South African issues and other social ills. Recently, the floods in the Eastern Cape, we've seen a lot of activity in terms of crime in the area, and not a lot has been done or even raised any awareness from his side. So, what are your thoughts on all of these matters that have been raised? Can South Africa really make a big impact? We know that we have a history with Palestine. Even Mandela raised the issue of Palestine because of the similarities in the way that the white people got there and how they further went to displace them. At this moment, it has been painted as a them and us issue, basically being linked to religious inclinations, but it goes beyond that. These are human beings at the end of the day, and what's more important is their homeland is being taken over by people who were moved there after they were facing persecution in Europe. Do you understand the similarities now? But at the moment, this history goes back far beyond what we could discuss in this video. Maybe in another one we can understand how is it that this conflict has gone on for so long. At this moment, South Africa is facing so much on its own. As you have seen, the things that Breakdown has also raised about the Madlanga Commission, the death of Natim Tetra, which is still a mystery, as his death certificate is not shedding enough light to give the comfort that the family needs. That there is a lot happening in South Africa, but not only that, in geopolitics in general, there is a lot that South Africa can contribute, but it's just a way of how can this be juggled between all of the internal South African issues that are also very pressing and those of international importance. This is bigger than Umandla. In fact, it is bigger than all of us in the world because it talks to people abusing power and then using it and waging war against smaller nations. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know what your sentiments are down below. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video.